My name is Jason Pratt.
I'm Tandy Pratt.
And we're here to share a little bit about our experience through stillbirth. We've had 2 losses, the first happening April 1st of 2008. Mary Alice, our daughter, was stillborn at 36 weeks. I guess I'll share what I remember about that, and then Tandy, if you want to jump in.
Sure.
So I was at work and got a call from Tandy, and she said that she thought that the baby, she couldn't remember feeling the baby moving, and so I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't at that time didn't know what stillbirth was, or figured we're past the first trimester, so we're safe. No issues. We're home free. I thought we'd go to the doctor, get it checked out, and go home. And we went to the doctor, and we actually went to the wrong location, and then ended up going to the hospital, and they checked us in, and the nurse couldn't find the heartbeat and said those words. I can't find the heartbeat.
She said, "I'm having trouble finding it, but I'm really bad at this, so don't go by this." And I was laying there thinking, it's okay. I knew the baby was gone. And we hadn't found out if we were having a boy or a girl. We have an older son at home, and he was 2.5 at the time, and we just decided we didn't want to. Well, actually, we tried to find out, didn't we? And she wouldn't let us.
Yeah, we couldn't find out on the ultrasound.
So then I asked them if they would, if I have to, what you're asking me to do here, just is so, I don't know, incomprehensible. It's just, you want me to do what? You're going to induce labor? What? They asked if we wanted to be checked in. Yeah, because if I leave, I'm not coming back. So you need to check me in now. And then, they're telling you all this stuff, and it's just coming at you right and left, and all you're thinking is, wow, this is what is going on here? This can't be real.
Yeah, you don't.
We were going to bring home a baby in a couple weeks.
The transition of, having, the nursery ready, and the crib just got built, and you're preparing to bring home an addition to your family, and moving our son Benjamin to a different room, and and the excitement. You go from the excitement and all that to just the worst. It's the worst feeling that it's like, okay, we're not.
I think after Mary Alice died, she came out and was beautiful, 5 pounds 11 ounces, 19 inches long. We were kind of told, these things happen, you'll have more children, and, God is there for you, and all that stuff. And I think you're okay to believe that at that time, because you're really wondering, why am I holding this baby that should be breathing and crying, and and then when it happens to you again, all of that stuff gets shattered. There is no more faith in anything. Our daughter Amelia was stillborn on April 11th, 2011. I was 22.5 weeks along with her, and when they told us there wasn't a heartbeat with her, it just was a whole different.
I think we were really angry.
Very angry.
Because we asked the whole time, what else can we do to make sure that this is okay? And it was very, just full of anxiety. And every appointment that we went to,
he took forever to find the heartbeat. He'd mess around on my stomach, and then he'd find it, and I'd just be like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, and
I'd
then we'd
grab
have that
onto him,
release, and then it would start all over again. The anxiety would build up for the next time, and we didn't see a specialist until the appointment that we had, where we found out that there was no heartbeat. And so we were really angry because, we asked all these questions, why weren't we taken care of with a specialist from the get-go? And, so those things run through your mind like, well, it's my fault because I didn't ask enough questions, or it's the hospital's fault because they didn't, give us the special care that we needed. And none of that really matters because, Amelia isn't here.
And with Mary Alice, they, told us, don't do an autopsy. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to find anything. There's no reason to do it. I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they would tell families to have an autopsy done, to help other families if there's some sort of clue as to why this is happening. So after Amelia died, because I had a miscarriage in between there, Amelia was my 3rd loss, and we have this healthy boy at home, and what is going on here? I asked for everything possible. When the baby comes out, we knew we were having a girl with Amelia. When the baby comes out, I need to know, you're going to do every test that you can starting now, as I was just very angry. I didn't even want to look at her. I know that sounds awful, but I was so mad that she was not still, that my body had failed another baby.
Yeah, so we took a lot more action after Amelia, and we asked more questions, and we saw specialists who said, these are some possible things that could have happened, and these are some possible things that we could have done, to at least help, increase the probability. And so... And
you're wondering, why isn't that told to you first?
Right.
This wasn't that long ago. Our first loss was 2008. In 2008, they weren't taking care of us the way
they should. And I think people just kind of go through and think pregnancy just happens. You get pregnant, and the outcome is going to be you're going to have a baby. And I even remember being in the hospital with Benjamin, and that was the best time of my life, and I remember the door across the hall had a little postcard with a leaf that was floating on water, and I wondered what that postcard meant. So I asked the nurse, and she said, well, that's we put that on the door of patients who have lost a baby. And I just couldn't really comprehend it. This is the labor and delivery floor, that kind of thing shouldn't happen. Yeah. And then I completely forgot about it.
And
then
didn't tell me about it until we had Mary Alice.
And then the leaf was on our door when we had Mary Alice, and then I told the story, and
it's like it was going to happen to
think
us.
People
with Mary Alice, though, it's weird to think that way, that it was going to happen. I was pregnant with my 2nd child, was expecting to have a 2nd child, but I never really felt like we were going to be a family of 4 at home. I don't know. There was something in the back of my head that just, and I don't know what it was. Why would you think that? But at the same time, I didn't think my baby was going to die either.
So what we did is, we decided we wanted to take some action. We wanted to help make a difference, and Tandy met Shauna and Lindsay at Star Legacy, and we decided to have an event in honor of Mary Alice and Amelia.
So, and really the Mary Alice and Friends 5K came about because of Amelia.
Right. So after Amelia happened, we were obviously very upset, and we wanted to take some action. And so Tandy met Shauna and Lindsay from Star Legacy Foundation, and we decided to help them out with their mission, which is to
it was very crazy to find them online, and it was just like it was meant to be, because Jason wanted to do a 5K. I'm not a runner, he's a runner, and then I wanted something solely for stillbirth, because the March of Dimes is healthy pregnancy, blah blah blah. There's nothing out there for stillbirth, and no matter who we talk to, they know someone. It's either themselves, it was their son or daughter, brother or sister, aunt, uncle, stepbrother, stepsister, nephew, niece. Somebody in their family has had a stillborn, and it's like, really, because I had no idea this could even happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the stories really come out of the woodwork. It's like, oh, I had a friend who that had happened to, So we wanted
So
to.
we knew that we needed to talk about it.
Yeah, and get action out there and get the word out in the community to create awareness and try and raise some money so that we can start instituting these prevention measures and
And every time someone says, "Oh, thank you so much," and we're sorry for your loss, and it's not about Mary Alice and Amelia. It's about those people, and their babies get a voice. They get recognition on that day or
Right.
5K, and try to make them feel special.
And our community has really supported our event, and just this last June we had our 5K, and it was really nice.
Second annual,
yeah, to have people come up afterward and say, I just really appreciate this. This was a great day to honor our children, and they talk about their specific child and their story. And the more that we can feel safe and okay with talking about our children, I think the better outcomes will come from it.
And for me, after Amelia died, when I didn't even want to get out of bed and function, it's good to have this. It's a good high in life, and it I was really questioning what their purpose was. What's Mary Alice's purpose? Why would this happen to me? Why did this happen to me? Why I've been a good person my entire life, I believe in God, and I've followed God, and then thanks. I guess I don't get to meet this baby, and then it happens again, and you just need a reason to get up and to find a purpose for why this would happen, and I think our 5K is why.
Yeah.
We need to be a voice for other people that necessarily can't.
Well, and it provides a safe environment for them to come and just be with people who get it, because it's hard because you don't really get it. Like, I saw the leaf on the door when we were in the hospital with Benjamin, but I didn't really get it. And you don't, and that's with anything. I mean, you don't really get it until it happens. And for those that this has happened to, I just say I'm sorry, and we're all here together.
Yeah, we know.
So, we're here supporting Star Legacy Foundation. I'm on the board of directors, and I couldn't be prouder to be a part of an organization like that who is leading the charge when it comes to supporting families, funding research, getting doctors to the table to talk about what we can do differently, getting legislators to the table to talk about what we can do differently. And I just look forward to the many changes, the positive movement that we have.
And I think for me as a mom, it's good for me to connect with other moms and have that experience together, and know that it's okay to cry about this and grieve the loss of your baby forever, for their entire life, for your entire life. You're always going to miss that baby, and there's nothing wrong with that. First day of school is always hard for me. I should have a first grader and a preschooler right now, and I don't.
And it'll keep it going.
And there'll always be another milestone, weddings and driver's license.
So it's good that we can
Soccer,
tell our
ballet.
stories.
He's more
good
the
thing.
I don't know, what do you call that? The get things done. I'm more the I'll listen to your story, and I'm glad that you were able to tell me your story. I want to hear it. I want to hear about your baby. And
yeah.